Welcome back, everyone, to Mindful English Talks. Angelina, I was just thinking, if someone handed you a magic lamp, or let's say a crystal ball right here, right now, and said, you get one wish, what would be the very first thing that pops into your mind?
Oh, John, that's such a classic question, isn't it? My immediate gut reaction, I think I'd wish for something big, something impactful. Maybe for an end to global hunger, or, for everyone to have access to clean water. Something really grand that benefits everyone.
That's incredibly noble of you. Most people, I think, and I'll include myself in this, would probably lean towards something a bit more personal at first. Like, I want a lifetime supply of my favorite coffee, or I wish I could fly. Something fun or convenient.
Totally, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, who wouldn't want to fly? But it gets you thinking, doesn't it, about what truly matters. And it actually brings us perfectly to the story we want to share with everyone today. It's a really beautiful tale from the south of Spain, and it's all about wishes and what happens when you get them, or perhaps when you don't.
It's a story that's steeped in that kind of old world charm. Imagine a small, joyful village in the south of Spain. The kind of place where kids are just running around, playing under shady trees, no screens, just pure, unadulterated childhood happiness. Right outside this idyllic little spot lived a shepherd boy named Nasir.
Yeah, Nasir. He lived a simple life with his father, mother, and grandmother. Every morning, he'd take his goats up to the hills to graze, and every evening he'd come back to the village. And this is where it gets interesting. His grandmother would tell him stories, specifically stories about the stars. And Nasir, apparently, was totally captivated by them.
So, one day, he's up in the hills, doing his shepherd duties, playing his flute, just chilling. And suddenly he sees this incredible light, just glowing behind a flower bush. And being a curious kid, he goes to investigate, right? And what he finds is this transparent, beautiful crystal ball, shimmering with all the colors of a rainbow.
A crystal ball! I mean, can you even imagine? He picks it up, turns it over, and then he hears a voice. A weak voice, coming from the ball itself, saying, "You can make a wish that your heart desires, and I will fulfill it."
Now, this is where I think most of us would immediately blurt out a wish, probably something silly or something deeply personal. But Nasir, he's different. He's totally confused. Not because he doesn't have wishes, but because he has so many, he can't pick just one. He decides, you know what, I'll think about this overnight. I'll remember everything I want, and I'll make my wish tomorrow.
And this is such a key moment in the story, John, because what happens next? Days pass, weeks even, and Nasir still hasn't made his wish. Why? Because he realizes he really has everything he needs. He's cheerful, contented. The people around him even notice this change in his disposition, this profound happiness.
That's the real kicker, isn't it? He finds this ultimate tool for wish fulfillment, and he just doesn't use it. Why? Because he's already content. How many of us can truly say that we have everything we need, that we're so genuinely happy that a magic crystal ball feels almost superfluous?
It's such a profound statement about his character, and I think, about what true happiness can look like. It's not about acquiring more, it's about appreciating what you already possess. Nasir wasn't wanting for anything, emotionally or physically. He had his family, his goats, his flute, and his grandmother's stories. That was enough for him.
Exactly. But as often happens in these kinds of stories, this tranquility doesn't last. A curious boy from the village, who'd been noticing Nasir's incredible cheerfulness, decides to follow him. He hides, watches Nasir take out the crystal ball, look at it, and then fall asleep. And then he takes it.
Oh, the plot thickens. And you can almost feel the shift in the atmosphere here. The boy, full of excitement, runs back to the village, calls everyone together, and shows them the crystal ball. And just like Nasir, they hear the voice. "I can fulfill your wish."
And this is where human nature, or at least a certain aspect of it, really takes center stage. No hesitation, no reflection like Nasir. One person screams, "I want a bag full of gold." Another, 2 chests full of jewelry. Some wished for palaces, grand doors made of pure gold, replacing their old, simple homes. Bags of jewelry for others. It's like a free-for-all of material desire.
And their wishes are all fulfilled, just like that, Poof, gold, jewelry, palaces everywhere. But here's the twist, the really heartbreaking part. They weren't happy, not at all. In fact, they became more miserable than before. Why? Because the person with the palace didn't have gold, and the person with gold didn't have a palace. Jealousy, anger, and bitterness consumed them.
It's such a stark illustration of how getting what you think you want can actually be worse than not getting it. The village that was once full of joy, where children played in green gardens, was gone, replaced by palaces and gold. The gardens were no more. The children became terribly unhappy. It's a complete inversion of their previous state.
It's devastating, and the story contrasts this perfectly with Nasir and his family, who remained untouched by all this chaos. They were still happy, still contented. Nasir still played his flute, its sweet sound a lone beacon of peace in a village now filled with discord.
It highlights the difference between external and internal wealth, doesn't it? The villagers gained so much externally, but lost everything internally. Their community, their joy, their peace of mind, all gone because of greed.
Absolutely. It makes you wonder, if you were in their shoes, would you make the same choices? Would that immediate gratification cloud your judgment? I think it's a very human tendency to always want more, to compare ourselves to others.
Definitely. And it's often the children who see things most clearly. One day, the unhappy children of the village, seeing the mess their elders had made, took the crystal ball to Nasir. And they said, "When we had a small village, we were all happy and joyful." Even the parents finally admitted, "All of us are unhappy. The luxurious palaces and jewelry only bring us pain."
That's the turning point, right? The moment of realization and regret. They finally understood what they had lost. And Nasir, seeing their genuine remorse, finally decides to act. He says, "Even though the crystal ball asked me to wish for something, I haven't done it. But if you truly want everything to return to its own place, then I will wish for it."
And everyone, of course, happily agrees. Nasir takes the ball, turns it, and wishes that the village would become exactly as it was before. And in a moment, all the palaces, the gold, the jewelry, gone. The green gardens reappeared, the old village full of trees returned. And once again, the people started to live happily, and the children played under the shade of trees.
It's such a beautiful restorative ending, isn't it? And Nasir, he continued his contented life, playing his flute at sunset, its sweet sound echoing through the restored, beautiful green village. The moral, of course, is so clear. We should be happy with whatever we have and not be greedy.
It's a moral that, honestly, feels more relevant than ever in our modern world. We're constantly bombarded with images of what we should have, what we're missing out on. Social media, advertising, it's all designed to make us feel a slight lack, to chase the next big thing.
Terribly, right? And it creates this endless cycle of desire. You get that new phone, that new car, that bigger house, and for a fleeting moment you feel satisfied. But then you see someone else with something even newer, shinier, and the cycle starts again. It's exactly what happened to the villagers.
And the cost isn't just financial. It's the cost to our peace of mind, to our relationships, to our communities. The villagers stopped speaking to each other. They became angry and jealous. All the joy and connection were sacrificed for material possessions.
I think Nasir's initial reaction is what really resonates with me. I have so many wishes I can't decide. But then realizing I actually have everything I need. That's a profound state of being. It's not about having nothing to wish for because you're deprived, but having nothing to wish for because you're utterly full.
That's such a brilliant way to put it, Angelina. Utterly full. It speaks to a kind of inner richness that external wealth can never provide. It's about finding joy in the simple things: family, nature, music, community, all the things the villagers destroyed in their pursuit of more.
And the fact that the children were the ones to initiate the change, that's so powerful. They didn't care about the palaces or the gold. They missed their green gardens, their ability to play together, the simple joy of their old village. It shows how quickly we lose sight of what truly brings us happiness as we get older, sometimes.
It's like that innate wisdom that kids often have, unburdened by adult desires and societal pressures. They just want to play, to be happy, to have friends. And when those fundamental needs are taken away, even if replaced by something luxurious, they feel the loss most acutely.
So, if we bring it back to that initial question, John, about the crystal ball, maybe the real power isn't in what you wish for, but in the realization that you might not even need to wish at all. Or, if you do, that your wish is for the restoration of something lost, rather than the acquisition of something new.
That's beautifully put. And Nasir's final wish, to restore the village to what it was, demonstrates that wisdom perfectly. It wasn't for his personal gain, it was to mend the community, to bring back the happiness that had been squandered. It was a selfless act of true contentment.
It really reminds us to take a moment, to pause, and genuinely assess what we have. Are we truly grateful for our health, our relationships, the roof over our heads, the food on our table? Or are we constantly looking over the fence, wishing for our neighbor's palace?
I think it's a call to mindfulness, really, to appreciate the present moment, to recognize the abundance that might already exist in our lives, even if it's not glittering gold or grand palaces. Because, as the story shows, those things can actually detract from our happiness.
And to really prioritize what makes us feel utterly full internally, as we discussed. For Nasir, it was his family, his flute, the stars. For us, it might be different, but the principle is the same. It's not about the stuff.
So perhaps the next time we feel that pull to wish for something more, maybe we can channel a little bit of Nasir. Take a moment, step back, and reflect on all the good things that are already present. You might just find you're holding your own crystal ball of contentment, without even realizing it.
That's a wonderful thought to leave our listeners with, John. A powerful story with a timeless message. Let's all strive to be a little more like Nasir.
Indeed. Thank you for joining us today on Mindful English Talks. We hope this story of the crystal ball has given you something to ponder.
Yes, thank you for listening. Until next time, stay mindful and appreciate the simple joys.